Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that makes English both incredibly fun and ridiculously confusing: American sayings that make absolutely zero sense when you think about them. These are phrases we use every single day without a second thought. But if you stop and actually listen to the words, you'll be like, wait, what? So, let's get ready to question everything you thought you knew about American English. First up, a classic: it's raining cats and dogs. Now, I've seen some pretty intense downpours in my life, but I have yet to see a single poodle or a tabby falling from the sky. Can you imagine the chaos? You'd need a lot more than an umbrella. You'd need an animal control squad and probably a helmet. So, where did this bizarre image come from? The most popular theory goes way back to 17th century England. The streets were filthy, and when heavy rain came, it would unfortunately wash away deceased animals, like cats and dogs, making it look like they had fallen from the sky. It's a pretty grim origin for such a common phrase, right? It just goes to show, you never know the dark history behind a seemingly innocent saying. Next on our list is break a leg. This is what you say to actors before they go on stage for good luck. But why? Wishing someone a severe injury seems like the opposite of wishing them well. It's like telling a chef to burn the kitchen down before a big service. This one has a few possible origins. One theory is from the superstitious world of theater, where saying good luck is actually considered bad luck. So, you say the worst thing you can think of to reverse the jinx. Another idea is that it refers to an audience being so impressed that they would stomp and cheer, and breaking a leg referred to the actor bowing so many times that their leg would figuratively break from bending. And a fun one from German theater slang: Hals and Beinbruch means a neck and leg break, which also means good luck. Either way, please don't take it literally. Alright, how about this one? Spill the beans. We use this when we want someone to reveal a secret. Come on, spill the beans. What did he say? But what beans? And why are they being spilled? This phrase is thought to have come from ancient Greece. They used beans to vote in secret ballots: a white bean for yes, a black bean for no. The votes were cast into a jar. If someone accidentally knocked over the jar and spilled the beans, the secret results of the vote would be revealed before they were meant to be. So spilling the beans literally meant revealing a secret. This is one of the few that actually makes a bit of historical sense, even if it sounds weird today. No actual beans were harmed in the making of this expression. Probably. Let's move on to a phrase that sounds downright painful: bite the bullet. This means to endure a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage. For example, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and finish all this paperwork. But why on earth would you bite a bullet? The image this conjures up is pretty intense. This saying is widely believed to come from the battlefield, back in the days before anesthesia. When a soldier needed emergency surgery, like having a limb amputated, they would be given a lead bullet to bite down on. This would help them cope with the excruciating pain and prevent them from screaming or biting their own tongue. So, the next time you have to do something you're dreading, just be thankful it doesn't involve actual surgery with a piece of metal between your teeth. Here's one that might leave you scratching your head: cat got your tongue. We say this to someone who is unusually quiet or at a loss for words. Again with the cats, what is it with old sayings and felines? This one is a bit mysterious, but there are two main theories. The first, and more disturbing one, involves a gruesome form of punishment in the Old English Navy. Liars and tattletales were supposedly whipped with a whip called a catto, 9 tails, and the pain was so severe it would leave the victim speechless. The other, less horrifying theory suggests it comes from ancient Egypt, where cats were revered. Liars' tongues were supposedly cut out and fed to the cats as a punishment. Both are pretty dark, right? It definitely makes you think twice before asking a quiet person this question. Okay, let's lighten the mood a bit with a piece of cake. When something is super easy, we say, Oh, that exam was a piece of cake. This one feels a bit more intuitive. Cake is delicious, enjoyable, and generally easy to eat. The saying emerged in the US in the late 19th century. One theory connects it to a tradition called a cake walk, where couples would promenade around a cake, and the most graceful pair would win it as a prize. Since winning the cake was the easy part, the term cake walk or piece of cake came to mean something easily accomplished. So next time a task feels effortless, you can think of fancy, graceful walk from over 100 years ago. Now for a phrase that always makes me picture a barnyard party. Until the cows come home. This means for a very, very long time. We could argue about this until the cows come home. This expression is rooted in rural, pastoral life. Cows are not exactly the most punctual animals. They spend their day grazing in the pasture and tend to wander back to the barn for milking at their own leisurely pace, usually very slowly and late in the evening. So, waiting for them to come home on their own is literally waiting a long time. It's a perfect, vivid picture of an indefinite, long wait. It's one of those sayings that feels very folksy and down to earth, even if most of us don't own cows. Let's talk about being under the weather. When you're feeling sick or unwell, you say you're under the weather. But under what weather? A cloud, a storm. This is a nautical term. When a sailor was seasick or feeling ill, they would be sent below deck to rest. Down there, they were literally under the deck and shielded from the harsh weather happening above. Over time, it just became a general term for feeling sick, whether you're on a boat or not. So, if you're feeling a bit off, you can blame the sailors of the past for this wonderfully vague and gentle way of saying you're not feeling your best. Here's one you've definitely used. Don't cry over spilled milk. It means don't get upset about something that has already happened and can't be changed. But why milk? Why not spilled juice or spilled coffee, which is way more tragic in the morning? This proverb is old, with versions of it appearing as far back as the 1600s. The idea is simple. Milk, once spilled, is impossible to recover. It soaks in, it's gone. It's a simple, everyday accident that isn't a huge disaster, making it the perfect metaphor for small mistakes and mishaps that we should just let go of. It's a gentle reminder to focus on what's next, not on the little puddles of the past. And finally, let's end with let the cat out of the bag. This is our third cat-related idiom. It means to reveal a secret, much like spill the beans. So, where does this one come from? The most common explanation takes us to medieval street markets. A common scam involved farmers selling a pig in a poke or a pig in a bag. Unsuspecting buyers would purchase the bag, thinking they had a valuable piglet inside. But a dishonest merchant might have swapped the pig for a much less valuable cat. If the bear was clever and opened the bag before paying, they would let the cat out of the bag, revealing the fraud. So, letting the cat out of the bag meant exposing a hidden, and often unwelcome, truth. So there you have it, 10 American sayings that are totally bizarre when you think about them, but each with its own fascinating, and sometimes strange, backstory. English is full of these little quirks that make it such a rich and dynamic language. Which one of these surprised you the most? Or do you know any other weird sayings you want me to investigate? Let me know down in the comments. I love reading your suggestions. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the weird and wonderful world of words. See you next time.